Man, Scott Boras is not having a very good time right now. Okay, yes, most people in the world would kill to be where he's at success wise and financially. There's a reason his name is even known. But in comparison to the many contracts and success that he's gotten his clients before, this offseason, and I guess preseason, you gotta call it now, with these free agents signing during spring training, has not been great. Basically, every free agent that was looking to get a big contract did not get a big contract. And it makes a lot of sense. It's pretty simple. Teams are just understanding how bad of an investment it would be to sign these Boras clients long term. They're not proven enough to be worth it over a long, consistent period. The Cody Bellinger contract, where he signed back with Chicago, I actually really liked for both sides. It was still an overall loss for Boras in terms of what he was originally trying to get Bellinger, but it's a 3-year deal that has opt outs after the first two. So Bellinger has full control of his ability to be on the market or not after each year and try to get a bigger contract if he has a great year. If he doesn't, say he sucks, he's still guaranteed $80 million. Not quite the $250 million he wanted, but obviously good money. And it's also pretty perfect for the Cubs because it's not a long-term commitment they have to potentially worry about. So I really like that deal for both parties involved. I thought it was as perfect as it could be for the situation Bellinger was in. As far as what Blake Snell just signed for, I don't know, man. He's still getting the bag. I mean, in terms of regular money, but considering his situation and what he also possibly could have gotten but said no to, financially, this is a big loss for Snell and Boras. Here's why. But really quick, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Over 65% of my watch time is from people who aren't subscribed. A lot of viewers just don't realize they aren't, so if you enjoy the video, hit that button along with the bell for post notifications. Thank you. Blake Snell just signed with the San Francisco Giants for 2 years, $62 million with an opt-out after the first year. So basically Bellinger's contract, but 2 years, not 3. Blake Snell also just won the Cy Young Award, the second of his career, and he's now won one in both leagues. If he's not getting the big long deal he was looking for now, why would he ever get it? Even if he pitches his heart out this year. He just did that last year, yet nobody was willing to come close to what he wanted. So if they're not willing to now, why would they when he's yet another year older next year? The Yankees actually offered Snell at least $150 million last month, to which he of course said no to. And I say at least because there are other reports that he was offered a 6-year deal worth more than $150 million, but either way it's the same point. If he took the Yankees offer, he of course would have gotten way more than what he now had to settle for with the Giants. He and Boras, who's really behind most of this stuff because it's his job to try and get the most money for his players, declined what ended up being the biggest offer they got because they figured they could get a better deal either maybe from the Yankees later or someone else. But that never was going to happen. They probably figured someone would cave in and give Snell $200 million. But just like Cody Bellinger, just like Matt Chapman, it didn't happen. Nobody budged, the market stayed put, and Snell ended up having to settle for less with San Francisco, which is also exactly what Chapman did. So not only will Snell be getting way less than he and Boras were originally aiming for, but say hello to the insane California taxes. That'll make this even harder to swallow, financially at least, when you compare to what the original price tag was they wanted. As for the Giants as a team, this is awesome. They won. Shout out to them. This is almost as perfect as it gets. Snell pretty obviously is not a smart long-term investment, but it's also not like he sucks. I want to make that clear. He may not be someone to give 7+ years to, but he's still nasty. He literally just won the Cy Young Award, his second. I mean, the Giants are getting an ace, at least an expected ace added to their rotation. And it's the best of both worlds because they get the Cy Young Award winner, but also have no long-term commitment at all attached with it. They get to enjoy Snell, and worst case scenario, if he's really bad or God forbid he gets hurt, yeah, it's not ideal, but you have him for just 2 years maximum, and then he's gone if you don't want him anymore. Even before this, I really had faith in this Giants team, so now add Snell to the mix and it obviously looks better. Of course, the Dodgers are the favorites for everything, but I can genuinely see the Giants finishing in second place in that division and grabbing a wildcard spot. Why not? They have a sneaky good team, and after all the clowning people have given them for failing to get big free agents, in the end they ended up collecting a nice addition of players. Jung-Hoo Lee, who's already one of my favorite players, I love this man, Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler, who I forgot about. They traded for Robbie Ray, Jordan Hicks, whose potential is through the roof just based off how nasty his stuff is, and he's still young. Tom Murphy, a catcher they got from Seattle, who I had no idea existed before making this video, but judging by his numbers over the course of his 8-year career up until this point, I could so see this guy coming out of nowhere and being a dominant bat in the Giants lineup. And now Blake Snell? Okay, this may not be as sexy as Ohtani and Yamamoto for the rival Dodgers, but this is a really nice overall offseason for the Giants. Will it work? We'll find out, but I could totally see this team battling the Padres and D-backs for a wildcard spot. spot. I could see them outlasting everyone. So, good stuff. Really good stuff. The Giants get better while also not having to commit to anything long term to a guy who's way too risky and unproven to do such a thing. And as for Snell and Boras, they lost. There's no other way to put it. They just simply fumbled the bag. They were never going to get 250 plus million, but they didn't even end up getting 150 million, which they can only blame themselves for considering they had the chance to take that. Snell could have a very fun time in San Francisco, where he'll be reuniting with the man who managed him the last couple of years in San Diego, Bob Melvin. Like I said, this Giants team could be a lot of fun. But in terms of money, Snell and Boras ended up taking the L on this one, just like every other Boras client this offseason has, except this looks to be the worst, at least in my opinion. The biggest bag fumbled. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.